The morning started like any other quiet day in Maplewood Heights, a neighborhood known for perfect lawns, silent streets, and rules written thicker than a phone book. But on this particular morning, something felt different. Something felt strange. Even the birds seemed quieter, as if they knew a storm, an HOA storm, was coming. Sam stood outside his garage, stretching his back after lifting a few wooden planks. He was a simple man, always polite, always helpful, and never late with his HOA fees. Today, he planned to fix the community garden fence, a project everyone supported. Well, everyone except one person. He had just placed his toolbox on the ground when he heard a sharp, shrill voice slice through the peaceful air like a knife. "Excuse me. What do you think you're doing?" Sam froze. He didn't even have to turn around to know who it was. It was her. Karen. The self-declared queen of the HOA. The woman who carried complaint forms the way others carried wallets. The person who could find a rule violation in a rainbow. Slowly, Sam turned and there she was, marching down her driveway with the confidence of someone who believed the entire neighborhood existed just for her. Her sunglasses sparkled, her hair was overly perfect, and behind her, shining under the sun like a giant piece of bubblegum, stood her pride and joy. A bright pink Jaguar. The car was so pink that even flamingos would feel insecure. Karen stood in front of Sam with her hands on her hips. "Why is your toolbox outside? You know the rule. No tools visible from the street." Sam blinked. "I'm just fixing the community garden fence. The HOA approved it yesterday." Karen gave a loud, dramatic laugh, one that made the neighbors' curtains quietly move as people peeked outside. They knew something big was happening. "Oh, please," she said. "The HOA approved it because I wasn't in the meeting. If I had been there, this nonsense would never happen. You are ruining the view of my beautiful car." Sam glanced at her bright pink Jaguar. He didn't mean to stare, but the car was so shiny it almost reflected the whole neighborhood like a mirror. But Karen noticed. She always noticed. "Yes," she said proudly, brushing imaginary dust off her car. "You can look at it. You can admire it. But don't touch it. Don't walk too close to it. And definitely do not bring your dirty tools anywhere near it." Sam sighed softly but kept calm. He had learned long ago that arguing with Karen was like teaching a cat to drive, completely useless. But the drama was only beginning. Karen stepped closer, pointing at the sidewalk. "Your toolbox is less than 1 foot from my property line. That is a violation. A serious violation. If the president of the HOA sees this, you will get a fine." Sam tried to explain again. "Karen, I'm helping the community. This is volunteer work." "Oh, spare me the hero talk," she snapped. "Your tools are noisy. Your clothes are dirty. And your presence is, well, disturbing." Sam raised an eyebrow. Disturbing? He hadn't even done anything yet. Across the street, an old man watering his plants paused. A woman walking her dog slowed down. Another neighbor opened her window slightly. Everyone knew, when Karen started yelling, you either hid or watched. There was no third option. Karen kept going, her voice getting louder, sharper, and more dramatic. "Do you know how expensive my Jaguar is? Do you know how rare this exact pink paint is? It is custom. Custom. One scratch, and the whole neighborhood loses its beauty." Sam looked at the thick layer of wax on the car. It looked like she polished it more than she breathed. But he stayed calm. "I will stay far from your car," he said. "I just need a little space to work." Karen gasped loudly, placing one hand on her chest like she had heard the biggest insult in human history. "A little space? A little space? First your toolbox, now you want more? Soon you will want to park your work truck near my Jaguar." Sam had no idea where she got that idea, but her voice was so loud that 2 kids playing with a ball stopped and stared. Then something unexpected happened. Karen turned, placed her palm lovingly on the pink Jaguar, and smiled proudly as if it were her own child. "You see, Sam," she said, "this car is the heart of the neighborhood. People come here and admire it. They respect it. It is the symbol of our community." Sam almost laughed. A pink Jaguar, a symbol of the community? But then, Karen lowered her sunglasses and leaned closer, whispering with dramatic seriousness. "And I will not let anyone ruin it." Her voice echoed in the quiet street. Sam felt a strange chill. He didn't know why, but he sensed that this morning was going to be unusual, maybe even dangerous. And as a soft rumble grew in the distance, one that neither he nor Karen had noticed yet, the hook of the story tightened. Because that sound belonged to a machine. A machine that would soon become part of the most unforgettable moment in the neighborhood's history. A forklift. And Karen had no idea what was coming. The quiet rumble in the distance slowly faded, replaced by the sound of heels clicking, sharp, firm, and way too confident for a normal morning. Karen marched straight toward her pink Jaguar like she was entering a fashion show. The sunlight hit the car, and for a moment, the bright pink glow almost blinded Sam. It was like looking at a giant, shiny strawberry on wheels. Karen touched the hood proudly, like she was petting a rare animal. She didn't just love her car, she worshipped it. Anyone watching could tell. And of course, someone was watching. Several neighbors had stepped outside after hearing her earlier shouting. Some pretended to water their plants. Others walked their dogs even though their dogs didn't want to walk. A few simply pretended to check their mail, even though the mailbox had been empty since last night. Everyone acted casual. But everyone was watching. Karen loved it. She thrived on attention the way plants thrived on sunlight. She turned to her small audience, put her hand dramatically on the roof of her pink Jaguar, and said loudly, "Ladies and gentlemen, please do not stand too close. This beauty gets nervous around strangers." Sam almost laughed. "A car gets nervous?" Karen continued, voice full of pride. "Do you know how rare this color is? Custom pink sunrise. It took 2 months to paint. 2 whole months. The shop had to close their doors because they ran out of this exact shade." A man across the street whispered to his wife, maybe they closed because she was visiting too often. His wife elbowed him to be quiet. Karen didn't notice. She was too busy posing with her vehicle as if someone were taking photos. She slid her sunglasses down her nose and said, "People think a normal Jaguar is impressive, but this? This is art. This car is the crown of Maplewood Heights. Without it, the neighborhood would be plain." Sam didn't care about her opinion. But he did wonder how someone could talk so passionately about a car at 8 a.m. Karen kept going. "This car brings class to the neighborhood. It brings value. People see this car and think, wow, what a beautiful place. That is why I park it here every morning. To inspire others." Sam wanted to say, "Actually, Karen, it blocks half the sidewalk," but he wisely chose silence. Karen moved closer to the audience forming near her driveway. "Do you know," she asked dramatically, "that celebrities drive this model? Famous people. Actors. Singers. Royalty. And now, this rare color belongs to me." She said me like the world should clap. Nobody clapped. But Karen didn't care. She smiled proudly. Then she turned back to Sam, finally remembering she had been in the middle of scolding him. "And you," she said, pointing an accusing finger, "must understand the responsibility of living near such a precious object. Tools should be far away. Dust should stay away. Noise should stay away. Workers should stay away. Basically, everything you are doing is too close." Sam rubbed the back of his neck. "I'm 20 feet away, Karen." 20 feet too close, she snapped. At that moment, she leaned down and began buffing a tiny invisible spot on her car's door. She polished it so aggressively that Sam wondered if the paint might come off from sheer fear. Then, she looked up with a dramatic sigh. "You have no idea how hard it is to protect a car like this, Sam. People admire it too much. Children try to touch it. Birds fly over it. Leaves fall on it. Leaves! Can you imagine?" Sam looked up at the tree, gently dropping a few leaves around them. Nature clearly didn't care about Karen's rules. But she wasn't done. Last night, she said loudly to everyone listening, "A cat walked near my driveway." A cat! I had to call animal control. A woman carrying groceries whispered, "It was my cat." Karen ignored her. She walked around the car in slow, exaggerated steps, checking each part like she expected someone had vandalized it in the last 2 minutes. Then she stopped suddenly. Oh no! The neighbors froze. Sam stopped breathing for a second. Karen pointed at the ground. There, near the back tire, was a single leaf. A single, harmless, normal leaf. She lifted it like she was handling toxic waste. "This," she declared, "is exactly why this neighborhood needs stricter rules. Someone must have let this fall here. Probably him." She shot a glare at Sam. Sam stared blankly. "Karen, it's a leaf." Karen's mouth dropped open like he had insulted her entire family. "A leaf can scratch the paint if the wind pushes it," she cried. "Do you know how fragile luxury paint is? Do you?" Sam didn't answer. She didn't want an answer anyway. Karen stomped toward Sam. The neighbors held their breath, waiting for the next explosion. Birds above the trees paused mid-song, as if watching a TV drama. She jabbed her finger at him again. "You need to move your tools. You need to move your equipment. And you better make sure nothing comes near my car." Sam opened his mouth to reply. But then, something strange happened. A heavy rumbling sound began growing. This time louder, closer, more powerful. The ground gave a tiny vibration. The neighbors turned their heads toward the street. Sam recognized the sound immediately. Karen didn't. But she would. Because rolling slowly around the corner, shining under the morning sun, was a forklift. And it was heading straight toward Karen's side of the street. The real story was about to begin. The forklift rolled into the neighborhood like a slow-moving beast, loud, steady, and impossible to ignore. Its engine growled softly, warning the street that something big was about to happen. The neighbors, who were already watching Karen's morning drama, now stepped closer to see what new excitement had arrived. Sam's friend, Leo, was driving the forklift. Leo was the total opposite of Karen. Calm, relaxed, and always smiling. Even now, sitting on a giant machine, he waved happily at everyone. "Morning, folks." Karen blinked in shock. For a moment, she didn't move. She just stared at the forklift like it was an alien spaceship landing in her peaceful kingdom. "What is that?" she finally whispered, her voice trembling with rage and disbelief. Sam answered gently. "It's a forklift, Karen. Leo's helping me move the heavy garden blocks." Karen gasped loudly. "A forklift? Here? In my neighborhood?" Leo waved again. "Hi, Karen. Nice car. Very pink." Karen clutched her chest. Being complimented by a man sitting on a forklift seemed like an insult to her royal taste. The forklift slowed down near Sam's driveway, but not anywhere close to Karen's pink Jaguar. There was plenty of space. Plenty of safety. Nothing dangerous at all. But Karen didn't see safety. She saw danger. She saw disaster. She saw her precious car crying for help. She rushed forward, placing herself between the forklift and her Jaguar like a dramatic superhero saving her kingdom. "Stop! Do not come any closer." Leo stepped on the brake, confused. "Oh. Karen? I'm like 20 feet away." 20 feet too close," she screamed, returning to her favorite line. The neighbors watched with huge smiles they tried to hide. They loved their quiet mornings, but this? This was better than TV. Karen pointed her finger at the forklift like she was commanding a dragon. "Turn that machine around. Take it back. I will not allow such ugly equipment near my car." Leo blinked. "Ugly? This is brand new. Just got washed yesterday. Karen didn't care. This is a residential area, not a construction site. Forklifts should be illegal on this street. Sam tried to calm her. Karen, we already have HOA approval for this project. I was not in that meeting, she shrieked. If I'm not there, the meeting does not count. Sam sighed. Not again. Karen began walking in small angry circles around her car, protecting it like a mother hen guarding her chick. She eyed the forklift as if it were a giant claw about to swipe her Jaguar away. Look at its wheels, she said dramatically. They're huge. They could squash a small car like mine. Leo looked at her calmly. Karen, ma'am, I'm going to move these blocks on Sam's side. Not yours. I'll stay far away from your Jaguar. I promise. Karen narrowed her eyes. Promises mean nothing. Machines slip. People make mistakes. Forklifts fall over. You could destroy my car without even touching it. Leo raised an eyebrow. How? Wind, she said confidently. Wind pushes things. A teenage boy nearby whispered to his friend, if the wind could move a forklift, I'd be terrified of leaves. Karen kept ranting, now speaking fast, her words bouncing off the houses. I saw a news story last month. A forklift destroyed a garage. And another one broke a fence. And another one. Sam cut in, Karen, that was a bulldozer. She ignored him. Same thing. Then, in a flash, Karen rushed forward again, standing directly in front of the forklift. Leo panicked. Whoa! Please don't stand there, Karen. I can't see you clearly. It's not safe. She folded her arms. Good. Because I'm not moving until you take this horrible machine away. Sam stepped forward. Karen, you can't block the forklift. That's dangerous. Karen smirked. Dangerous for who? I am the HOA head. Rules are the shield of this neighborhood. And today, I am the shield. Leo whispered to Sam, is she okay? Sam whispered back, she thinks she's saving the world. Karen lifted her chin proudly, then turned to the neighbors. You see? This is the kind of thing I protect all of you from. I am the guardian of Maplewood Heights. The neighbors exchanged amused looks. No one felt protected. Mostly entertained. Then Karen stepped backward to demonstrate her heroic position, but she stepped too far. Her heel slipped slightly on the smooth driveway. And she stumbled. Her hand shot out automatically. And landed on her pink Jaguar. Scratch. Everyone froze. Karen's ring had dragged across her car, leaving a tiny, thin scratch. A gasp went through the crowd. Someone dropped their coffee cup. A dog barked. Karen slowly looked at her hand, then at the scratch, then at Sam, then at the forklift. Her face turned pale. Her lips trembled. Then it happened. She pointed straight at Sam and screamed. You did this with your forklift. Leo choked on air. Sam blinked. Karen. I didn't even move. But Karen didn't care. Her dramatic performance reached level 100. You brought this monster machine here, she cried. And now my beautiful baby, my beautiful pink Jaguar is injured. You damaged it. You! The neighbors whispered among themselves. They had seen everything. They knew she scratched it herself. But they also knew Karen wouldn't listen. The street fell silent, waiting for what would happen next. And the real chaos was just beginning. The street was silent. Not a normal silence, but the heavy kind, the kind that falls right before things go very wrong. The neighbors held their breath. The dogs froze. Even the wind seemed to stop moving for a moment. Karen stood like a statue, one hand still on her scratched pink Jaguar, her eyes wide with a dramatic mix of horror and outrage. Her finger pointed at Sam and the forklift as if she had just discovered the villain of a superhero movie. Leo looked confused. Sam looked tired. The neighbors looked excited. Because when Karen was angry, the neighborhood became entertainment. Karen finally broke the silence with a loud, shaky breath. "My car," she whispered dramatically. "My poor, sweet, innocent car, attacked by a forklift." Leo blinked. "Ma'am, the forklift didn't even move." She ignored him completely and pointed at a tiny, almost invisible scratch. "Look at this damage. It's terrible. It's catastrophic. It's..." "Barely visible," Sam muttered under his breath. Karen gasped loud enough that 3 birds flew out of a tree. She stomped toward Leo and Sam like an angry queen marching into battle. "You two are responsible for this. And I will report you. Immediately." Leo raised both hands. "Karen, please relax. The forklift is nowhere near your Jaguar. I can show you the distance if you want." Karen waved her hands wildly. "Distance? Distance?" Machines leap forward. They roll. They slide. They tip over. "Don't try to trick me with your forklift science." Leo mouthed silently to Sam, "Forklift science?" Sam shrugged. Karen marched around the forklift, inspecting it like she was a detective in a crime show. She walked close, but not too close, because she clearly didn't trust the beast machine, as she quietly called it under her breath. She tapped the metal frame with one finger. "This thing should be banned. It is too big. Too dangerous. Too loud. Too forklift." Leo chuckled. "Ma'am, forklifts don't just float across the road and hit cars." Karen glared at him. "You don't know that." Then, something happened that made everything worse. Leo shifted slightly in his seat to stretch only a tiny move. But the forklift made a low hydraulic hiss. A normal sound. A harmless sound. A sound forklifts make all the time. But Karen reacted like it was the roar of a dragon. "Oh! It's moving! It's moving!" She jumped backwards so fast she nearly twisted her ankle. She threw her arms in front of her Jaguar like she was protecting a baby in danger. Leo quickly waved his hands. "It's just air pressure. I didn't touch anything." Karen didn't hear him. She was too busy shouting at the sky. "Why does this always happen to me? Why me?" A neighbor whispered, "Because you scream at the sunrise every morning." Sam cleared his throat, trying to calm the situation. "Karen, please listen. The forklift is safe. Leo is a professional. Nothing is going to happen to your..." His words were cut off. Karen suddenly leaned forward, staring at the forklift forks, 2 long metal arms extended outward. What are those?" she asked nervously, stepping closer but still keeping her distance. Leo answered kindly. "Those are the forks. They're for lifting the garden blocks." Karen's eyes widened. "Lifting? You mean, picking things up?" "Yes," Leo nodded. "That's how forklifts work." Karen gasped again, this time even louder. "You can lift a car with that." Leo blinked. "I mean, technically, yes, if the car was." Karen spun around dramatically. "Oh no! He just admitted it. He wants to lift my Jaguar. That's the plan." Sam rubbed his forehead. "Karen, nobody wants to lift your car." But Karen was already spiraling into full meltdown mode. She marched in circles, waving her arms. "This is an attack on my property. A threat to my car. An act of neighborhood war." The neighbors struggled to hold in their laughter. One whispered, "I wish I brought popcorn." Another whispered, "I wish she came with a remote control so we could mute her." Karen suddenly spun toward the forklift again. "Move it! Move it back! Take it away! I want it off this street." Sam crossed his arms. Karen, we have permission from the HOA. The forklift needs to be here to help with the fence project. Karen stepped forward, her face inches from Sam's. Well, I am the HOA spirit. And I say no. Leo looked down at Karen's tiny angry face. Ma'am, can I at least unload the blocks? It will take only 10 minutes. And oh, she yelled, stomping her foot. Then something truly unlucky happened. A strong breeze blew across the street. Not a huge wind, just a natural morning gust. It blew a small orange construction flag attached to the forklift. And the soft, harmless flag swung slowly, lightly brushing the air, moving gently toward Karen's car. Karen's eyes widened in slow motion. The flag didn't even touch the Jaguar. It didn't even come close. It just moved in the direction of the car. But Karen screamed like she was watching a meteor fall from the sky. No! It's attacking my car again. She dove in front of the Jaguar like she was protecting royalty. Leo froze. Sam facepalmed. The neighbors burst into whispers of laughter. And from inside his seat, Leo whispered, "This just got worse, didn't it?" Sam nodded slowly. Much worse. The real explosion hadn't happened yet. But it was coming. Karen was just getting started. The street felt like a stage now, and Karen was the loudest actor in the play. Her arms waved. Her hair bounced with every angry step. Her voice echoed like a siren nobody asked for. Leo sat frozen on the forklift seat, gripping the steering wheel like it was a seatbelt on a roller coaster. Sam stood quietly, mentally preparing for whatever madness came next. And the neighbors? They were fully invested. Nobody was washing their cars anymore. Nobody was trimming hedges. Nobody even blinked. Everyone knew something big was about to happen. Karen marched back towards Sam with the fiery energy of a storm. "This is your fault," she shouted. "If you didn't bring this machine here, my baby, my beautiful pink Jaguar would be safe." Sam stayed calm. "Karen, the forklift didn't touch anything." "It doesn't need to touch," she snapped back. "One wrong sound, one wrong breath, and my car gets hurt." Sam stared at her. "A breath?" "Yes," she screamed, because of course she did. "Air moves things. Air is dangerous." Leo whispered to Sam, "Air is dangerous now?" Sam whispered back, "We've reached that level, yes." Karen kept pacing dramatically. Her heels clicked like angry typewriter keys. She pulled out her phone, ready to call someone, maybe the police, maybe the HOA, maybe the president of the entire planet. But before she could dial, she stopped. Something caught her eye. A tiny speck, just a tiny dot, on the back door of her Jaguar. She gasped. It echoed down the street. "What is that?" Sam squinted. "What?" "That mark," she shrieked. "Right there. Another scratch." The neighbors leaned forward, trying to see. Leo squinted harder. "Karen, that looks like dust." Karen spun around dramatically. "Dust can scratch paint." Sam muttered, "Only in your universe." Karen marched closer to her Jaguar like an investigator checking evidence at a crime scene. She touched the spot. Then she touched it again. Her face twisted into a deep frown. "Oh, no," she said with shaking breath. "This is worse than the first scratch." "Karen," Sam said gently, "you just touched your own car with your ring again." But Karen wasn't listening. She was in full disaster movie mode. "I need to check the entire car," she declared. She walked around the Jaguar dramatically, brushing her hand across the doors, roof, mirrors, every surface, like she expected to find claw marks from a wild animal. Her neighbors watched her carefully. A few exchanged glances. A few shook their heads. A few were secretly recording. Then it happened. The moment that changed everything. Karen stopped near the back bumper. She leaned in very close. Too close. Her designer bracelet jingled softly as she bent down. She placed both hands on the car, trying to inspect a tiny spot that probably didn't even exist. But she leaned with too much weight. Her elbow slipped slightly. And her bracelet, thick, metal, sharp on one side, dragged across the paint. SKRRRT. It wasn't huge. But it wasn't small either. The neighbors gasped. Leo gasped. Even Sam gasped. Karen froze like she had just touched fire. Slowly, she looked at her bracelet, then at the long, thin scratch curving across the car's back door. Her mouth fell open. She didn't blink. She didn't breathe. It was like watching a volcano realize it was about to erupt. Sam took one cautious step back. Leo whispered, "Oh boy, here it comes." Karen inhaled sharply, so sharply it sounded painful. And then she screamed. "No! What have you done?" Sam nearly jumped. "What I did?" "Karen, you just scratched your own car." Karen ignored reality, as usual. "This never would have happened if you didn't bring that machine here." She pointed dramatically at the forklift like it was a weapon of mass destruction. Leo raised one hand. "Ma'am, the forklift is literally parked. It hasn't moved in 10 minutes. Karen stomped her foot. "IT moves with intention. You two brought danger near my car. Danger follows forklifts." Sam opened his mouth to respond, but Karen wasn't done. "Oh, this is bad," she said, pacing dramatically. "This is very bad. A professional paint shop will need weeks to fix this." "Weeks?" Leo looked at the scratch. "Karen, that can be buffed out in 5 minutes." "And oh," she screeched. "This is art." Sam sighed. "Karen, you need to calm down. Let's talk like normal people." "I am calm," she yelled, wildly waving her arms. Sam stared at her in disbelief. "You're shouting." "I always shout when I'm calm." Leo leaned over to Sam. "She needs a hobby." Sam whispered back. "This is her hobby." Karen stomped toward Sam, finger raised. "I am reporting you for property destruction, emotional damage, mental trauma, and..." But she tripped. Just slightly. Her heel caught on the edge of the driveway and she lurched forward. She tried to catch herself again by grabbing the Jaguar. Scratch. Another mark. Bigger than the last one. The neighbors gasped louder this time. Karen froze in shock. Then slowly, painfully, she turned her head towards Sam and whispered. "This is your fault." Sam lifted both hands. "Karen, I didn't even touch." She cut him off. "You brought the forklift. And bad things happen around forklifts. You are responsible." Leo rubbed his face. "Karen, that's not how physics works." Karen dramatically pointed at the scratch. "This is war. HOA war." And she walked straight toward Sam, not knowing that the biggest twist of the day was still waiting. The forklift had a part to play. And fate had just stepped onto the stage. The air around Maplewood Heights felt thick now, like the neighborhood itself was holding its breath. Karen stood trembling beside her pink Jaguar, acting like she had survived some kind of disaster. Sam stayed silent, not trusting himself to speak without creating more chaos. Leo sat on the forklift, gripping the controls and praying the day would end soon. The neighbors? They were having the time of their lives. Nobody had gone back inside. A few even brought folding chairs. Karen pointed at Sam again, her voice trembling but loud. "The HOA will hear about this. You are reckless. You are a danger. And you brought this horrible machine into our peaceful neighborhood." Leo sighed. "Karen, the forklift is literally parked." Karen ignored him and stomped her way toward the sidewalk, waving her phone. "I have proof. I will show everyone. They will all know you attacked my car." She opened her phone camera dramatically, but she forgot something important. Her phone was facing her. She stared at her own angry face on the screen, confused for a second, then snapped at the phone, "Turn around," as if it could hear her fear. Sam gently said, "Karen, flip the camera." She glared at him. "I know." But her fingers poked the wrong buttons: zoom, brightness, timer, filters. She even accidentally gave herself dog ears for a moment. A neighbor whispered, "The dog filter suits her." Another quietly replied, "Shoo, she hears insults." Once she finally figured it out, Karen lifted the phone proudly and walked toward the Jaguar. "I will take evidence of every scratch, every mark, every bit of damage caused by your dangerous equipment." She leaned in close to film the scratch her own bracelet made. But the angle was weird, and she couldn't see. So she bent closer. And closer. And closer. Until her forehead bumped the car. Bonk. Ow. She jumped back in shock, rubbing her head. Leo whispered, "Did the car attack her this time too?" Sam tried not to laugh. Karen, still holding her head dramatically, snapped, "Don't you dare mock me. I am the victim here." She turned around swiftly, and that's when she saw it. The forklift. The breeze had picked up again, lifting the small orange flag tied to the back. The forklift did not move. Not even an inch. But the soft flapping of the flag made Karen freeze. She stared at it like it was some evil sign sent to haunt her. "That flag," Karen whispered slowly, "is threatening my car." Leo blinked. "It's a piece of fabric. It's a weapon," she yelled. "A flying weapon." Sam opened his mouth but closed it again. Reasoning with Karen was like reasoning with a thunderstorm. Karen took a deep breath and puffed out her chest. "Enough. I am taking charge now." She marched toward the forklift with long dramatic steps. Leo panicked slightly. "Please don't come close. This is heavy equipment." Karen didn't stop. "I will inspect it myself. I will collect evidence. I will." She stepped too close. Way too close. Her shoe heel sank into a small crack in the pavement. She wobbled. She flailed her arms. She spun, almost like she was dancing, but terribly, terribly wrong. Everyone gasped. She landed against the forklift's side. Thunk. Leo jumped. "Karen. Are you okay?" Karen pushed herself up slowly, glaring at the forklift like it purposely attacked her. "You see," she said breathlessly. "This machine is dangerous." Sam rubbed his eyes. "Karen, you literally walked into it." But she wasn't listening. Again. She marched back to her car, touching the scratches, shaking her head dramatically. "This is all because of you," she shouted at the forklift. The forklift quietly did nothing. Karen pointed at it again. "That thing has brought chaos to this neighborhood. It brought disaster. And now look. My car is ruined." Sam finally exhaled a long, tired breath. "Karen, your bracelet caused the scratches." She gasped dramatically. "How dare you accuse my jewelry?" Leo stepped down from the forklift slowly. "Karen, let's calm down before someone actually gets hurt. This is dangerous equipment. If you keep walking around it." "What? What will happen? Will it jump up and fly? Will it chase me? Will it lift my Jaguar?" she yelled. And then it happened. The breeze grew stronger, just a wind, nothing more, but the forklift's bright orange safety flag whipped again. It brushed lightly, softly, harmlessly against the forklift frame. Not the car. Not Karen. Just its own pole. But Karen saw it, and her imagination exploded. "It's coming for my car again," she screamed. She sprinted to the Jaguar, practically throwing herself against it like she was protecting it from a tornado. Her knees hit the bumper, her elbow hit the tail light, and her other bracelet dragged across the paint. Scratch. Another mark. Bigger than the others. Deep. The neighbors clapped hands over their mouths. Leo's jaw dropped. Sam nearly fainted. Karen slowly stood up, staring at the new scratch, her eye twitching. She turned, painfully slow, toward Sam and Leo. Her lip trembled. Her voice cracked. You two have brought destruction upon me. This is an HOA emergency. Sam stepped forward carefully. Karen, listen. That wasn't us. That was your own. Karen exploded. I don't want excuses. I want justice. She pulled out her phone again and dialed someone, fast, furious, unstoppable. Hello? HOA president? We have a crisis. A forklift has attacked my car. Yes. A forklift. Sam closed his eyes. Leo face-bombed. The neighbors leaned forward for more drama. Nobody knew it yet, but the real twist, the true twist, the one that would leave the entire neighborhood speechless, was only seconds away. And the forklift was finally about to play its unexpected part. The afternoon sun dipped lower, stretching long shadows across Maplewood Heights. The neighbors were still outside, watching with giant smiles like they were at a live show. Phones were recording. Chairs were pulled out. Someone even brought popcorn. Karen stood proudly, her jaw tight, her phone pressed to her ear. Yes, Mr. President, I am telling you, a forklift attacked my car, she shouted so loudly the whole street heard. On the forklift, Leo whispered to Sam, does she think the forklift has feelings? Sam sighed, at this point, I think she believes it has a criminal record. Karen continued yelling into the phone, pacing back and forth. And these two men, yes, these two brought this dangerous machine into our peaceful neighborhood. My car is destroyed, ruined, heartbroken. She placed her hand dramatically on the Jaguar's hood like it was a living creature. Sam quietly said, it's a car, not a pet. Karen glared at him as if he insulted royalty. Then she turned back to her phone. Please hurry. This is an emergency. A level 10 HOA crisis. She ended the call with a satisfied smirk. He's coming. Leo looked at Sam. Great. More chaos. Sam rubbed his forehead. At this point, the whole neighborhood might show up. But they didn't have to wait long. 2 minutes later, a small white golf cart zoomed down the street. On the side, in bold letters, Maplewood Heights HOA Presidential Cart. The cart screeched to a stop. Out stepped Mr. Thompson, the HOA president. A short man with big glasses, a clipboard, and a walk so dramatic it almost copied Karen's. He marched toward them with the seriousness of a courtroom judge. Where's the crisis? He demanded. Karen ran toward him. Right here. She pointed at her car like she had found a crime scene. Mr. Thompson gasped, staring at the scratch. My heavens, what happened? Karen pointed at the forklift. That beast did it. The forklift sat perfectly still. Innocent. Silent. Completely lifeless. Mr. Thompson blinked. The forklift did this? Yes. Karen yelled. It attacked my Jaguar. Twice. Maybe 3 times. The neighbors giggled. Mr. Thompson narrowed his eyes at the forklift like he was trying to understand how a non-living object caused chaos. Leo raised a hand politely. Sir, the forklift didn't move. At all. Karen spun around. Liar. Sam stepped forward. Sir, with respect, Karen walked into it. Twice. That is not true. Karen shouted. The forklift moved itself. A neighbor whispered loudly, it has superpowers. Another whispered back, better call the Avengers. Karen heard them and growled, this is not a joke. Mr. Thompson rubbed his chin. Karen, forklifts cannot move on their own. Karen gasped dramatically. Are you saying I am lying? Mr. Thompson stiffened. Of course not. I would never accuse a valued HOA member. The neighbors rolled their eyes. Mr. Thompson continued, but before I make my official judgment, I need proof. Karen smiled wickedly. Yes. I took proof. I recorded everything. She opened her phone proudly. Sam whispered, oh. Leo mumbled, this is going to be good. Karen clicked on her video folder. Here, see this. The forklift clearly attacked me in my Jaguar. She pressed play. The whole crowd leaned in. On the screen, Karen walked toward the Jaguar. She touched the door. Her bracelet scratched the paint. Loud and clear. Scratch. Karen in the video gasped dramatically. Karen in real life gasped too, but for a different reason. Then the next part played. Karen walked toward the forklift. She tripped. She fell. Her bracelet scratched the car again. Another loud scratch. Karen in the video yelled. The wind did this. The neighbors burst into laughter. Karen's face turned red. No, this is not. This isn't the right video. Mr. Thompson raised an eyebrow. This seems extremely clear. Karen panicked and tapped the screen. Wait, let me find the real video. But she accidentally pressed next. And the next clip showed Karen screaming at a trash can earlier that morning. She had yelled, "Stop staring at me." At a trash can. The neighbors fell over laughing. Mr. Thompson pressed his lips together, trying not to smile. Karen, this evidence does not support your claim. Karen gasped. What? The president stepped towards Sam and Leo. I apologize for the trouble. The forklift did nothing wrong. He turned back to Karen. But you have caused a disturbance today. Karen's jaw dropped. Me? Yes. And according to HOA Rules Section 14, Paragraph C, you must pay a fine for causing unnecessary drama. The neighbors cheered. Karen screamed, "This is betrayal." Mr. Thompson ignored her and wrote the fine on his clipboard. Your fine. $300 for false reporting, and $50 for yelling at an innocent forklift. Karen's eyes widened. What? There is no rule about forklift yelling. Mr. Thompson smirked. There is now. I just wrote it. Sam tried not to laugh. Leo failed and burst out laughing. Karen stomped the ground. This is not over. She jumped into her scratched Jaguar, but her bracelet caught the door again. Scratch. Another mark. She froze. Everyone froze. Then she screamed into the sky like a dramatic villain and drove away as fast as she could. Dust flew. Birds scattered. Her dignity did not survive. The neighbors cheered again. Mr. Thompson nodded to Sam and Leo. Thank you for the entertainment, the explanation. He drove off on his tiny golf cart. Leo looked at Sam. Well, that was insane. Sam stared at the street where Karen disappeared. I give it 3 days before she comes back. Leo smirked. And when she does, keep the forklift ready. Sam laughed. Oh, it'll be ready. The forklift sat quietly. A hero. A legend. A silent witness to pure chaos. And that's how one pink Jaguar, one bracelet, and one innocent forklift created the most unforgettable day in HOA history.